That was a little bit abrupt. Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining Threlte WARP 2023, the first Threlte Hackathon that there is. And in general, we are super happy that so many people enrolled to the hackathon. Super happy that the whole community is growing all the time. The community is really helpful also in all use cases. We have so many great community members. It's absolutely a pleasure to run this project. And without further ado, I'd like to introduce myself and Matan. Matan is hosting this kickoff event of Threlte WARP. Say hi to Matan. Matan, can you say some words too?
Hello, everybody. Welcome to our Hackathon Kickoff event. In case you haven't met me, I'm a core team contributor. I've been on the team for about 8 months, I guess, something like that, or I've been starting to contribute it. And we are so psyched to have you here and get started with this inaugural Threlte Hackathon.
Exactly. Yeah, my name is Grisha. I'm the creator of Threlte and also super excited that this whole thing is like growing into a project that people are even willing to do a hackathon around it, which is super nice. At this point, we also would like to thank our sponsors, sponsors of this hackathon in particular, but also sponsors that generally sponsor this project, like Vercel, but also there are some individuals that are sponsoring me, in this case, for creating the project. And but more specifically, we'd like to thank Genki Instruments, about which we will hear more in the in the course of this kickoff event, and they sponsored the main prize. And yeah, I'd say we just continue with what we actually do in this hackathon. Matan.
Yeah, let's do that. So you're gonna share the graphic as we go, Grisha?
Yeah, it's on.
Okay, great. So let's get started with the tracks. So in this hackathon, you'll have to pick one of 2 tracks designed to highlight different aspects of Threlte and to kind of give you a different take on a project that you could undertake in the hackathon. The WOW track is really designed for pushing your innovation, creativity, and visuals to the limit. So we're inviting you to create your own app and deploy it with anything from gaming to immersive UI and UX, whatever you want. And so when you're submitting this on this track, you'd be dropping us a link to a GitHub repo, and we'll cover the requirements for that in a bit. In the AHA track, we want to improve the knowledge sharing in our community, so we invite you to create some great improvement to our documentation as a PR. So we're looking for examples, tutorials, anything that would make life easier for new Threlte users. Yeah, those are our tracks. I guess we're going to move on to the prizes, right?
Exactly. Yes. So as Matan said, we have 2 tracks, and for each track there are 3 winners. There's first, second, and third place, and the first place gets a wave by Genki, and this is. I can also show it to you. I have one here. It's a ring, and this ring is spatially aware. It's like a wearable, it's like this ring. And if you closely listen to the intro music of this stream, it was entirely done with this thing and the software that comes with it. So I'm by no means like a genius musician. That's just like this ring adds a lot of expressiveness to music, but it can also spit out MIDI signals. And as you know, as you might know, there's like a MIDI API for the web. So you can also actually make use of that ring also in web applications, and maybe drive a Threlte scene with MIDI signals. And it's actually a really nice little tool. And this is the first place, and it's sponsored by Genki Instruments, and I'd like to thank them. The second place is an exclusive T-shirt, and the T-shirt is not just any T-shirt. It's not something that we just slapped our stickers on, but we are very excited to have won over the designers of Absolute Attitude to design a shirt for us. The design is kind of finished, but I don't really want to share it just yet. I think it makes sense to do that over the course of the hackathon, maybe. But also, so the first place gets one of these shirts as well. The second place gets one of these shirts and a canvas, like a print on a canvas. And the print is also designed by Absolute Attitude, which is a design agency in Berlin and Munich, and they are doing really great designs. So I really like it. And the third place is the shirt. Yeah, let's move on to the criteria. Marta.
That's right. Can you pull them up? You are muted.
No,
right.
you're actually not muted. I can hear you.
No. No, I thought you were muted for a minute.
Oh.
Yeah, so the criteria, we're going to be looking at your entries, and we wanted to give you different directions to go, so we didn't want to be too constraining on your creativity and flexibility. So we put up several criteria. The first is awesomeness, just general wow factor. And this is sort of the X factor that lets each of us judges just say, hey, I love that. That's just a great piece of work. And this one counts double for the wow track. Then there's enlightenment. So we want to see entries that are somehow teaching us something about Threlte and what it can do. And we call this the aha factor. So this one counts double for the aha track, of course. Then creativity. So we want to see some originality here, some inventiveness, playfulness. So we want to see you doing the best you can. And when it comes to the aesthetics, we want to see well-designed pieces of work that fit well with the Threlte documentation, if they're a PR to the docs, and otherwise that they just stun us visually. When it comes to technique, we want to look a little bit at your code and your architecture, at the way you communicate your project. At least in the wow track, we would like you to write a little README in your repo. So we want you to explain a little bit about what you're doing. And that's included in this scoring. Shall we move on to the rules? You can explain a little bit about how we are judging first, maybe.
Yes, exactly. Judging is on the screen.
Yes. So basically, the Threlte core team members will be acting as judges in this hackathon. We're going to score for each of the criteria on a 1 to 5 star scale, adding up to your total score. Keep in mind that one of the criteria scores double, counts as double for each of the tracks, as I mentioned before. And basically, your total score will determine the winners and runners up for each track. Of course, we might. There's other rules to this hackathon, and we hold the right to disqualify entries which break those rules. And finally, if any of us have a friend or other conflict of interest in participating in the hackathon, we may recuse ourselves to keep it firm. Yeah. shall we go through the rules?
Yeah, of course. So there are some general rules. You can participate as an individual or as a team, so you can hook yourself up with someone else and do something together. The project must be created entirely during the hackathon, so it's not allowed to reuse an existing project and then just spice it up a little bit. It must be entirely done during the hackathon. And submissions must be open source and MIT licensed. This is especially true for the WOW track. So when you're doing like a standalone project that is its own repository, it needs to be open source and MIT licensed. And if you are contributing to the Threlte repository with a PR, this is kind of implicit. Next up, we have an ethical conduct. So of course, we'd like you to not plagiarize and do not copy other stuff. And if you're using generative AI, do it only with full disclosure. Of course, it's always allowed to use open source assets, especially in the course of a hackathon of a week. It's very likely that you might want to do that, and this is of course allowed. But if it's, for example, about like if it's really about copying code one-to-one from another project, yeah, this is something that's kind of like, yeah, we'd not like to see that. Also, we have community rules on our Discord. I mean, this is also something that we'd like you to follow. Next up, we have some rules that are special to the WOW tracks. The repository should be publicly available, preferably GitHub. I mean, it doesn't have to be, but it definitely needs to be. Oh, sorry, dog alert. It needs to be MIT licensed, at least. So it needs to be open source and MIT licensed. It also needs to have like a README with a template that you can copy from the Discord or from the hackathon page, and it needs to be deployed somewhere so that we can have a look at it. For example, I don't know, Vercel. Let's say Vercel. Vercel is a good fit for that. There are also hard track rules. So if you're contributing to the Threlte repository, you want to do that as a pull request. We have some conventions and standards around the Threlte repository that you want to follow. And if you want to participate in the AHA track, then we'd like you to discuss what you want to do ahead of time before you jump into implementing with the team. And we didn't discuss the details yet, but I guess we have like a separate channel about that or something like that. So you do that on just on Discord. And this ensures that you're not like going into the wrong direction or something like that. So it's mainly like a formality. All right. Next up, the submissions.
Yes.
Martin.
So submission is going to be just a couple of some hours before our final event, and we're going to share the time later. I think it should be in the hackathon page already. And we are looking for you to post on a specific thread we're going to create in the hackathon channel with some details about your entry, so a little title, a short description, your team members, and the links relevant to the project. And of course, we want to see that stuff is live, so we're going to check that everything's in order and that you're not changing it after the fact, after the deadline. And that's about it. That would be a submission. We're gonna remind you of that towards the end of the hackathon. We're gonna be available throughout the week at the channels, and we're opening up a couple of voice support channels that you can just hop into, and if you're looking for some help or advice on your work, we're going to be available to support you, and yeah, do stay tuned.
Exactly. I think we also announced to have like semi-regular town hall meetings during the week. So I guess we probably do that every 2 days or something like that. So just to get you up to speed, maybe, or to help you wherever there's need. I think that makes sense. The dates and times will follow in the Discord.
Yeah, thank you, everybody.
Okay, so apparently we are very blurry at 144p. That's not very good. But I think yeah, this video will also be up on the YouTube channel, so you can have a look later, watch it later.
Yeah, and we're looking forward to seeing what you're creating this week. Do stay tuned on Discord, and we're gonna have a great time looking at all your brilliant creations. Good.
Exactly. Thank you very much, everybody involved. Thank you, Matan, for hosting this event and joining me on the stage. And I too am very excited for this, and I'm happy to see what you come up with. Of course, the team will also do something in the course of this hackathon. It will not be like a regular submission, of course, but we are also happy to share at some point what we are up to. All right. Yeah, that's it for today, and I'm happy to see you at the next town hall meeting. Or are there any questions around that? If yes, this is the time. Put it in the YouTube live chat, and we're happy to answer.
So Common Goose was saying that they're worried that they don't know enough about Threlte to enter. Well, we want to say that beginners are very welcome, and we are available in the week to help you get through the basics even. I think a creative beginner can still have a chance in this competition, so don't be afraid.
Absolutely. Also, there was a question around how many submissions one person can do, and it's one. It's a very easy question to answer. So there is only one allowed submission per individual or team.
Yes. And
any more questions?
I would also add quickly that if you want to have a team member but don't have one, you can feel free to ask around the hackathon channel and find yourself a team member, because there might be other ones out there, and could be an interesting way to share the knowledge.
All right. Then I'd say thank you very much for joining, and I hope you all have a great time, and we'll see each other in about 2 days. Oh,
just to quickly clarify for Ed, there isn't so much a theme. You can do just about anything you want, except that there are these 2 tracks. So you need to follow one of the 2 tracks, but within the constraints of the track, as the rules are outlined here, you can do whatever you want. So otherwise, besides the tracks, there's no theme.
Yeah. So maybe we should quickly clarify what the tracks are, just briefly. There's one track where you just submit. Yeah, okay, I have a graphic for that, exactly. So there's one track where you submit, where you contribute to the Threlte repository itself. And we call that the AHA track. It's about creating examples. It's mainly about creating an example. We have already lots of examples that not only show basic Threlte mechanics, but that also go into detail how they interact with 3JS and how you can use the rigid structure of a framework like Threlte to make reusable stuff. This is like the AHA track. So when you go to the Threlte website, documentation and examples, there you find lots of examples. And we are looking for additions to these examples. They can be pretty much any complexity. But the main thing about these examples is they also come up with kind of an educational part. And then there's the WOW track, and this one is really open to projects of any topic, you could say. These are standalone Threlte projects. They can be games, they can be immersive UI, UX prototypes, which is especially interesting because we just launched the VR or XR package and the Flex package as well. But it can also be anything you'd like Threlte used in. So just to clarify the two paths that we're thinking about. All right, I think that's about it. We'll wrap it up and see you guys in 2 days. Bye.
Yep. Happy hacking, folks.